Step 12, funding scenario, your annual household budget, or as we call it, your run rate. Okay, this is a derived field that's going to be, we're going to provide to you once you fill in some other fields that we're going to talk about in a second. But the important thing is we're trying to get a budget going. So this is by far the most critical step of all the steps you'll do. And getting a good annual budget, even what you're spending now, is really important. Remember, what we're trying to get here is, if this is a budget that's going to take place in the future, we're trying to get future values for the various items that go in it, namely your lifestyle expenses. If you're already in retirement, it's what you're spending now, but if you're retiring in 20 years, what you're planning to spend in 20 years, as well as the other essential expenses, basically taxes, medical, and your other living expenses. Education and legacy are left out of this because a lot of times they're not ongoing. They tend to be one-off lump sum expenses, although they can be parts of an ongoing annual budget. We'll talk about that in a second as well. If you go to your mobile planner, we have another tab in there, budget, which is really handy and hope you'll use, or something equivalent to it, whether it's, Mint or QuickBooks or Quicken or whatever you use to track your expenses. You got to have a handle on it. And frankly, if you're not doing that, not willing to do it, this model is probably going to be no use to you and the form household in general. So we do take budgeting very seriously. So what we're trying to come up here is this, again, what we're calling an annual run rate, which is combined of these factors. And you can come into this and enter in we already have the different types and stuff you can enter. And you can add your own. I'm going to swap over to a live version of this right now. And here it is. So the main thing to consider is whether this is an annual or a one-time, because what we're trying to look here for stuff that's, again, reoccurring on an annual basis. These are already the categories and stuff. You'll notice in this one, I did put one exception to this. We have a legacy expense, which is an annual payout of gifting or whatever, because again, most of these tend to be one-time lump sums, usually at specific times. So we're not using that in this calculation, but I included one just to show you when you start categorizing all your expenses, if you do end up having a legacy or education one that ends up being an annual reoccurring one, you can include it in here, and then we'll just combine it in with the lifestyle expenses. Okay, I can't reemphasize, this is an important step, so please take your time with this. And it's, again, the one that's probably going to give you the most benefit. Our usage tip for this step is once you start generating dashboard output, there's nice legend in there that has all the different expense as well as savings categories. You can just fly your cursor over that, and please remember to enable browser pop-ups to be able to get that dashboard output. Here's some additional resources, and signing off.